All right, so I want to go over really quickly blitzes and stunts. So, what does that mean? When the defense blitzes, it means they send an extra player or extra multiple players to um, pressure the quarterback faster. So, if you recall, previously we had two what's called defensive ends, and they're called that because they're on the ends of the offensive line here. We had two people uh, called rushing the quarterback. So they try to go and tackle the quarterback and sack them. A sack is just if they pull their flag behind the line of scrimmage, which is just the line for the territory that the offense began at. Um, and normally, so we would just send these two people. But a blitz, for example, would be if we have an outside linebacker. Um, outside linebackers here, and we actually sent one of them. Um, the trade off is you lose one person who can cover, be in coverage and help break up the pass attempts. Um, in exchange, and you're trading that for faster and increased pressure on the quarterback. And so this is actually a very effective way to throw the quarterback off of their timing, off of what they're expecting. And so this is actually going to be a really big thing for our defenses to be able to be successful. We do have to call it and use it in moderation because, for example, if we send everybody on a blitz and we're unable to get to the quarterback on time and the quarterback throws something really shallow, for example, like a slant to the number two or not even number one receiver, they can just take it and go. And it could result in a very bad play, especially if our coverage, if our people who are covering the players, if the coverage doesn't hold up, then it could be really bad. But principally, blitzes are good, especially in this league of 99, especially for flag and given the offensive inside run rule. We're going to primarily do one set of blitz. We're just going to dress it up and call it in different ways. If the camera will focus. Hello? Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah, we'll do it in different ways. But so if you guys remember when I talked about cover two, I said that the edges will always rush outside. And this is true except for when we want to run a blitz on the side of whatever the line, whatever side the defensive end is on. So if we're sending a blitz left in this example, this is the left side of the field for the defense, then this linebacker would be blitzing. And this end actually would now do a stunt inside. So this guy is used to, like on this side, where the edge just has been pressuring every single time, just really fast to the outside. And so for the first time that they see this, they're going to see you, instead of going hard outside, you go hard inside. And this guy is going to be like, oh, shoot. They've probably been kind of cheating out to block on the edge here. So they're kind of getting used to leaving a bigger space here. And then they're going to see the end, take a hard inside, and they're going to be like, oh, shoot, I need to block this guy. And hopefully if their center is any good, they would double team you and help block. However, that means that this linebacker is completely free to come on the outside here. And so as long as our coverage holds up well enough to where this number two guy who temporarily doesn't have someone guarding them in their close vicinity, the quarterback isn't able to make a good throw to them here, then it's a really good play for us and we have a very good advantage. So when would we be calling this? So again, I said we're going to be calling cover three primarily, which means if I draw my defense, Sam will, and then it's going to be strong side, free safety. and then corner, corner, end. So it's gonna be cover 3. So free safety drops back. Third. So this would be like cover 3. There's multiple ways to call it, but just the blitz, right? Yes. No, sorry, blitz left. And then, so this corner is dropping back. And instead of before, where a safety would come in here and this guy would go out and we'd have 4 zones here, we would now instead have this outside linebacker on this side. Here, this guy. Instead of him bumping out in coverage, the safety is going to just roll down and they're going to take this outside zone. And the middle linebacker is going to stay in this middle zone. And then now this guy is freed up to do the stunt that we just talked about. So this is probably the most common way that we'll be calling it. Or at least like a blitz out of cover 3, which will be very likely our primary coverage. Just for sake of example, we could call blitzes out of other coverages as well. For example, cover 2, and obviously there's going to be many variations of this as well. So we have our safeties who are deep zones here, and then corners on the outside who have the flats, and then and then these are going to be just our 3 underneath defenders. And then, for example, we could send this guy to inside and this guy goes outside, or another play. So, and then and then this is where the defense has to communicate. But if this guy's going in a blitz, then obviously he's not going to be able to have a zone here anymore. So then the other players will compensate for that. And so we're going to have like 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 5 zones across, for example. If we sent this linebacker instead, and then this guy has to go outside if no one's coming, like that, and then this guy's going to bump over and have this zone, and then this guy's going to have that zone, if that makes sense. So this would effectively look like this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then now we have 3 guys. So like 1, 2, 3, all being able to attack the quarterback. Yeah. We could also do, for example, corner blitzes. So in this cover 2 example that I just erased, Mike Wills, yeah. Instead of this guy having his little zone over here, we can send this guy on a blitz, and then this guy just runs out to cover that zone, and then this guy covers this guy covers that. So this would be an example, of a corner blitz. Other than that, realistically, we'll just have only corner blitzes and outside linebacker blitzes. Our outside linebacker blitzes is probably going to be the most common, just as a rule of thumb. We could also try to switch, for example. So I just talked about how our stunts typically, right, we're going to condition outside, and then when we want to blitz, when we want to take someone here, we'll go inside to attack this here. Like that. We could also switch. So I think this will be less effective. We could try it in the game and see how it works. We could go here, and then this linebacker here can follow them and try to go inside through this gap. The reasoning being that this guy hopefully should take this guy out wide here, and then there should be an open hole behind him. And in hindsight, actually, or as I'm talking about it, we'll probably send this end here into this A gap. So then this center, after snapping the ball, has to decide, am I going to help on this guy or am I going to block this guy? But I think just schematically, it's just not as optimal. It's not as well designed. And the issue is this guy, we have edge contain on this side, but then if, for example, the QB just is fast and just runs this way. I don't like sending our edges inside if we don't have someone coming outside, just as a rule of thumb. And realistically, we probably won't be blitzing 2 people at a time unless their quarterback gets really flustered and is not good under pressure.